Hey, my name's Scott, and today I'm installing our first beehive. Our city is very supportive of urban agriculture and allows beehives on all lots within the city limits as long as there's a 6-foot flyway barrier, such as a fence or a hedge, and you supply clean water source. Now, I'm no expert. I've only helped install hives once with the University Apiary Club while I was in grad school. I just thought I'd make some videos to share my experience in case there's anyone else out there interested in beekeeping on a small city lot. I purchased this package of Cordovan Italian bees through my local Beekeepers Association. They purchased these packages in bulk from a supplier in California, which has been breeding Italian queens for something like 90 years, and specifically their Cordovans since the 1970s. You can really see in this package that the bees are clustered around the queen cage, and there are very few dead bees at the bottom of the package. These bees are also supposed to be pretty hygienic and gentle stock, so we'll see how that goes as the year goes on. So I sprayed the bees with a 1-to-1 by weight sugar syrup because, for one, they're probably pretty hungry and thirsty from their being in their package for something like 4 days, and two, it should reduce flying and help them pour out of the box more like a fluid. Um, we're about 15 feet away from a fairly busy sidewalk on the other side of that fence behind me, so I don't really want too many confused bees flying around. I'm installing this package in the evening so that hopefully the bees will settle down overnight and do orientation flights and cleansing flights first thing in the morning. So I really struggled getting that feeder out. For some reason I didn't have my pocket knife with me, and using the hive tool was not was not the easiest way to do that. I also started to understand very quickly why a lot of beekeepers don't use gloves, because those thick leather gloves, especially being brand new, it was really hard to get a grip on anything, and I'm still struggling. Nope, almost knocked over the package. Okay, nope, almost had it. Let's keep trying. Okay, oh, okay, there we go. Got the feeder. So the feeder is actually really full still, so like I said, they've been in the box for probably 4 days. I was kind of shocked how little they had eaten. I sprayed in the top two again to help keep them from flying right out of there when I move that towel. So here I pull out the queen cage. That was actually really easy to get out and take a look at the queen. I'm shooting this on my iPhone, so I didn't really have a view screen to look at, so I couldn't tell right there that I wasn't lining up the queen cage with the camera very well, though you could see her in there a little bit. Now she's centered, and the other bees are blocking the view, but she was in there and she looked healthy, a little small, but pretty healthy. So at that point, I realized I'd forgotten the marshmallow to block her in there. So I went and got that, and I put the queen into the box. Yeah, so pouring the bees out like this was amazing. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. I've never felt anything like that before. It was just really, the adrenaline was going. I was kind of nervous. It was really neat to see them pour out of there and then stay in there. And probably because I sprayed them with so much sugar water. But yeah, that was pretty great. So then I put the inner cover on it, and gave them maybe 5 minutes to calm down. And really fast, they came out the top and started fanning. So I felt like that was a pretty good sign that they're going to accept this queen. But again, like I said, I put a marshmallow in the cage, which I did off camera because I was kind of nervous. I wanted to focus. But yeah, so after 5 minutes, I took the inner cover off and checked on the bees, and they'd all climbed off the bottom onto the walls and up into the frames, and they were doing a really good job already clustering around that queen cage. It was still going to be in the 30s at night this week, even though it was in the 60s Fahrenheit during the day. But yeah, I was a little worried about the queen, but not too much, especially after I saw them clustering around her. So the scariest part for me of this install was putting these frames back in, because those bees were all over the sidewalls. I really didn't want to roll or squish any bees. Not only did I not want to kill any bees, because once the queen starts laying in the next week, it's gonna take a good 3 weeks before the workers start emerging. So these are all the bees I have. But also, if I had killed a few of them or killed a bunch of them, they'd probably start getting a lot more aggressive towards me. But these bees were very chill. I was very impressed when I picked them up from the Beekeepers Association, or the Bee Club, as I'll call it. I think it was the vice president I talked to. She said that these bees are absolute sweethearts, and it's why they keep buying from this breeder in California every year. Um, yep, still nervous. Still trying not to roll any bees. Still nervous. It'll get in there. Another thing after watching this, I noticed that I did not line up those frames very well. I was, again, adrenaline was going. I was kind of nervous. You can see there's definitely a couple that are kind of crooked. Straighten them out a little bit, but still not good enough. We'll see what they look like next week. All right, so this feeder I'm going to use, I decided to go with a top feeder because I wanted them to, a lot of them to be able to access the sugar water at once. I sprayed them with sugar water again there, and I have no idea why. That was 100% nerves. I cannot tell you why I decided to do that. But yeah, so I got this feeder from Man Lake. It's got that screening in there to keep the bees away from the reservoirs and to keep them from drowning. And gives them something to crawl up and over in. This is my first time. I don't know if this is any better than using like an upside down bucket, but I thought I'd give it a try. Again, I like the idea of a lot of bees being able to access the surf water at once. I put about 2.5 gallons of 1-to-1 sugar syrup in there. So now I'm putting on the inner cover. I'm putting on top of the feeder, obviously with the upper entrance closed. This is my first hive. I don't know if I should have given them an upper entrance here or not. I just thought I'd use the smallest opening on the entrance reducer and no upper entrance, just to make sure they have a small entrance to defend. They're a small hive, about 10,000 or less bees, and they're not going to be growing until the queen starts laying, and 3 weeks later the new workers emerge. But anyways, that was our install. I hope you found that interesting. If so, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see how these bees do over the summer and learn more about beekeeping in the city, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thanks.